Alright, so this is it. I'm on my way to Asia for the next 6 months. I had no idea what to expect in this time, but I knew this is the right step to take. Moving away from the life that I disliked in Germany. But still I was quite nervous, but curious. Before we continue with the adventure, I want to quickly tell a bit about myself. My name is Bo, and I grew up being a pretty active kid. I was very ambitious, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. One thing I knew really well was that I wanted to become known and famous for something. During my childhood, I was one of the only Asian kids throughout my time in school. In the beginning, that fact didn't really mean anything to me. But as I got older, I started to notice that people treated me different from others. And as a kid, you want to be accepted into a group of your friends. You want to belong somewhere. So pushing back was part of my life growing up. And instead of following my parents' advice of what I should do with my future, I've decided to become an artist. And I never regret that choice. To this day, I'm very proud of my achievements. Being an artist allowed me to create meaningful projects for clients, book covers for authors and publishers. I got to travel to other countries and participate in exhibitions. And I was even given the opportunity to record my own online art class. So a lot of great stuff. But in the past few years, I kind of lost the ambition and passion to continue my craft. It became clear to me that it's my surroundings that affected me, which in the end contributed to me and my decision to leave the country. So yeah, here I am. After a long flight, I made it to Tokyo. Unfortunately, my main luggage, was still stuck in Dubai, and it took over a week for it to arrive. In it I had all my clothes, my toiletries, and everything I needed to, refresh after nearly 20 hours of flying. So on the first night we headed to a nearby 7-Eleven and grabbed some essentials like pajamas, shampoo, and something to eat. This is not my first time visiting Japan. The year before, I've traveled to Japan for 2 weeks for the first time. I've traveled to a lot of places, but I've never wanted to go back to a country so badly as Japan. Yes, Tokyo can feel incredibly crowded and, it's known for being a concrete jungle. But if you get off the beaten path and explore other corners, maybe even just, different neighborhoods, Tokyo will show a completely different face. And there's so much nature surrounding it, and walking through a residential area can feel like you are all of a sudden in a remote town, far away from the hustle and bustle. Some of my favorite moments in Tokyo were activities I didn't plan. If you walk aimlessly through the city, you realize the real beauty of it, and you discover interesting corners that you won't get to see if you just, went where all the tourists are going. Also, one fact, even though Tokyo is one of the most populated cities in the world, it's probably the cleanest place I've ever seen. This time I've planned to stay in Tokyo for a whole month, so we decided to rent a furnished apartment. It had all the amenities that an apartment comes with. It had a walk-in closet. It had a full kitchen, a fridge, and it even had a fish grill, which we didn't get to use. Being able to stay where locals are living gives me a unique glimpse of everyday life in the city. We stayed in an area called Sasasuka, And in the area there was a gym, supermarkets, malls, and a train station almost right in front of the building. The reason why I wanted to stay for this long is to really experience all aspects of the city and get a taste of, how everyday life is opposed to being a tourist and doing all the sightseeing stuff in a rush. So yeah, no rush, no agenda, just trying to experience everyday life in Tokyo. Joining a gym, going grocery shopping, and cleaning the apartment. Everything you would do as well on a daily basis. Being in Tokyo made me feel so much at ease again. Almost like coming home. A lot of it has to do with how friendly the people are and just how much respect is shown in this country. For example, if you go into a store, the amount of care that is shown towards a customer is like nothing I have experienced in my life. Coming from a country where customer service is notoriously bad, it feels incredible to be treated with kindness and, to know that wherever you go, you will be welcomed with respect. But it's not just the respect from person to person that I love about the city. You feel a respect towards the surroundings, the food they're preparing. Even going to the bathroom is a completely different experience. And talking about bathrooms, the first friend you will make in Japan is definitely the Japanese bidet. If you have never sat on a Japanese bidet, you have not lived life fully. Not only does it clean your butt, but it also has a heated seat and a dryer, to dry your behind. And some of these bidets even play sounds to mask unappealing noises, especially the public toilets. Yes, they have public Japanese bidets, and every time I go out, I can do so in peace because I know there will be a public toilet somewhere that has so far been always clean. I could ramble about the toilets for a while, so we better move on. Even though everything seems great and being surrounded by so much to see and to do, it can feel incredibly lonely to be by yourself if you don't know anybody. If you're in the same boat, I highly recommend you get out of your way and connect with other people. Yeah, we even made some local friends, and they're one of the nicest people I've ever met. That doesn't just count, for Tokyo. You can make amazing friendships no matter where you are. Another part that has left me honestly speechless are the supermarkets in Japan. And I'm not talking about the konbinis that you might have seen like 7-Eleven, Family Mart or Lawson, which are incredible by the way. I'm talking about the big supermarkets. The one that I visited the most, which was also conveniently close to my apartment, was Life. Yes, it's called Life, and their slogan is "Welcome to Life," which is genius and very fitting. So as soon as you walk in, the atmosphere there is warm and inviting, and you can tell that they really care about the shopping experience. Even the staff is nice. Yeah, I don't take that for granted. Every time they walk by, they greet you, and before they leave through the warehouse door, without fail, they will take a deep bow towards the customers, and then they leave. I don't remember when I've experienced such an expression of respect. Yes, I know it's also a different culture, but in my opinion, being kind should be universal. And of course, the variety of fresh produce in Japan is just on a different level. Fresh meat, seafood, vegetables, fruits. They even bake fresh bread in-house. Not only is the quality great, but the way they present everything, can be simply described as art. talking about food, as you might know, Tokyo is a food heaven. And I'm not just talking about Japanese food, they have an incredible range of different cuisines as well. One of the best Neapolitan pizzas I had outside of Napoli is in Tokyo. And I even found my love for Thai food in the city. You know, and that's one of my favorite things to do, explore the city for new dishes that I've never tried before. Because there are just so many options. Another place I have visited maybe way too often in Japan is Yoshinoya. Yoshinoya is a Japanese fast food chain, but compared to what we know about fast food, you know, in Western countries, this place is actually quite healthy. You could describe it as incredibly cheap comfort food. So when you go in, you sit down, then you usually order your food from a tablet. And my go-to meal is a beef bowl, and it's called gyudon. You can select different toppings. So what I get is a side of extra beef and pork soup. What's interesting is that I have actually never seen any Western people inside Yoshinoya, and I think they're really missing out. Oh, and what I also love in Asia is water in restaurants is free. I do not take this for granted because back in Germany, you do not get free water, and you can't ask for water from the tap either. And depending where you go, you know, a glass of water can cost you from 4 to 6 USD. So I feel like this is quite a privilege to get a free beverage, and yeah, I really can't complain. You can get by with only knowing English pretty well in Tokyo, but I felt the urge to learn a few basic phrases. Yeah, so spending a month in Tokyo was an absolute fantastic experience and one of the best times I've had in a while. There was just so much more to explore, but there's only so much time in a month. I don't even think a whole year would be enough to see the city. Tokyo is big, it's full of life and fantastic people, and I can't wait to be back again. Yeah, but I'm already excited for my next destination, which is South Korea. You know, if you're interested how my next journey will look like, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for your time, and see you in the next video. Bye.